Welcome to RECOM's Powerful Podcast, where we discuss new topics and products. I'm Jeff Deutschman, your product moderator. From a quarter watt up to 1,000 watts, whether the power is required for an industrial setting, a new IoT gadget, or a high-end medical-grade device, RECOM has you covered. On this episode, we'll be focusing on two of our newest AC to DC converters, the RACM230G and the RACM550G. Peter, what should the audience know about these two supplies?
Well, Jeff, as you mentioned, these are both open frame AC to DC converters, and they're a little bit higher power than what we're typically known for.
Gotcha. And what kind of power are we looking at?
Yeah, so let's start with the RACM550G. This part has a peak power capability of 550 watts.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the continuous power?
Yeah, great question. So this comes down to a lot of different factors, the most important being the thermal considerations.
Okay, so what can customers do to maximize the output power for this part?
So to continuously operate with a 550 watt output, the end customer will need to utilize the onboard baseplate, as well as implement forced air cooling with a fan or something.
And how does that baseplate help?
Yeah, so the onboard baseplate needs to be in contact with another thermal conductor. This allows for heat to efficiently transfer away from the power supply.
Makes sense. What kind of power can they get with just a baseplate and no fan?
Yeah, so with just baseplate cooling alone, customers can still drive loads up to 300 watts, so still a pretty good power output there.
I imagine it's a similar scenario with the RACM230G.
Exactly. So with the fan and baseplate, we're talking the full 230 watts. With just the baseplate, that drops down to 160 watts. And you should know both parts have an independent smart fan output, so they don't need to worry about another power source for that option.
Okay, now that we've got power out of the way, tell us about some of the other good specs.
Yeah, so both parts accept universal input voltage range and have standard output voltage options ranging from 24 volts to 56 volts. And the RACM230G even offers a lower 12-volt option.
Yeah, very nice variety. How does the efficiency look?
Efficiency looks pretty good. So as you increase in power, obviously efficiency becomes increasingly important. So both parts fall in the range of 91 to 94% and have standby power consumption less than half a watt.
What other special features should we know about these?
Yeah, so the 550 watt has a on-off control as well as a 5-volt VSB output for lighter secondary loads. A nice feature that isn't super common to our products.
Nice. Let's wrap up with the certifications.
Sure. So both parts are medical-grade converters, which are certified to CSA/CAN 60601 and ANSI 60601. They cover 2 MOP and have 4 kilovolts AC of reinforced isolation.
Okay. The obvious question here is I did not hear you mention UL.
That's right, but don't worry. UL accepts CSA and ANSI certificates as their own, so customers will have no issues getting their products certified.
Great. Thanks for clearing that up, Peter. Looks like we have 2 new great additions to the RECOM portfolio. Well, that wraps it up for another episode of RECOM's Powerful Podcast. Be sure to listen next time when we delve into the pros of another RECOM topic. As always, please contact your regional sales manager for any samples or pricing. Our applications engineers are always happy to assist you with any technical questions or requests. You can email them at techsupport@recom-power.com. Until then, have a great day, and always remember,
RECOM powers your products.